Here it is, the new Nikon Z50. I know what you're asking yourself, does the Z50 live up to the hype? How does it compare to the Z6 and Z7? Do I use hair gel or hair cream? All that and more, but before we get started, remember, come visit us here at the Digital Goja showroom in Miami, and don't forget, we publish new content weekly, so subscribe to our channel and tap the bell icon to get notified about our latest videos. We got our hands on the Nikon Z50, and I've been putting it through its paces. And the Nikon Z50 is the first Z-mount APS-C camera, and in terms of build, the body feels great. It has a full magnesium constructed body and it feels good. The Z50's body is actually quite small when compared to something like the Z6 and Z7, but even with its smaller size, it has a fantastic grip. They did a really great job with its ergonomics, and this camera actually weighs less than 1 pound and 4 ounces. It's also weather sealed, so you can get your shots even if the weather isn't cooperating, which is a lot during Miami summers. The touchscreen is a big plus. Vloggers and content creators are gonna love how easy it is to navigate through the camera's menu using the high resolution 3.2-inch rear touchscreen, which happens to flip down. And it flips down so an attached microphone or light doesn't interfere with your view. Now, this is a great feature to have for hand holding and solves for the mic and flash obstruction issue, but now it could introduce interference when using a selfie stick. What do you think? Would you prefer the screen to flip up, or are you a fan of having a flip down screen? Let me know in the comment section below. The touchscreen is responsive and convenient, as you can use it to navigate through the menus, choose your focus points, pinch to zoom when reviewing photos, and tap the shutter. But one feature I would have liked to see is touch and drag autofocus when using the viewfinder. This is a feature found on some similarly priced cameras. Getting into the technical specs, the Z50 features a brand new 20.9 megapixel sensor with a new AF phase array. It's capable of shooting 11 frames per second at full resolution with continuous autofocus and auto exposure. And the autofocus performance is on par with the Z6 and Z7 when shooting both stills and video. The Z50 uses a brand new battery, the EN-EL25. It should give you about 300 shots on a fully charged battery. Nikon does include the battery charger inside the box, but if you forget your charger at home, don't worry, because you can still charge the battery with the USB cable. Just like the Z6 and Z7, the Z50 records 4K ultra high definition video up to 30p with a bitrate up to 144 megabits per second using the full width of the sensor. And you can record 1080p up to 120 frames per second. But since the Z50 has an APS-C size sensor, the 1.5 crop factor still applies to stills images as it applies to video. The phase detect autofocus is like that of the Z6 and Z7. The focus is smooth, precise, and quick. It's a significant improvement over the autofocus from Nikon's DSLR cameras that were using contrast detect autofocus. Now, one thing you'll notice or not notice is that the camera does lack a headphone jack. So unfortunately, you won't be able to hear how your audio from your video sounds until you play the audio back using the camera's internal speakers, or until you play it back from your computer or mobile device. Unlike the Z6 and Z7, the Z50 does feature a pop-up flash. Now, this is going to be a great option if you want to go without an external flash if space is an issue. The Nikon Z50's menu interface is going to be very familiar if you're a Nikon shooter, and it's going to be very similar to that of the Z6 and Z7. A cool thing that Nikon did when designing this camera is that even though it's smaller than their full-frame mirrorless cameras, such as the Z6 and Z7, it still uses the same Z-mount. So you'll be able to use all the same lenses. Just note that the lens equivalency is a bit different. Having the same mount as their full-frame cameras might be a selling point for many, because you'll be able to upgrade the Z6 or to the Z7 and not have to worry about buying a new lineup of lenses. Now, Nikon only has 2 DX Z-mount lenses available that's optimized for this APS-C camera, but the camera is fully compatible with all the FX Z-mount lenses and is also compatible with over 300 plus F-mount lenses when used with the optional FT-Z mount adapter. The 2 DX Z-mount lenses are the DX 16-50, which is a very compact pancake-like zoom lens, and the other lens is the DX 50 to 250 millimeter telephoto zoom lens. So even though there are only 2 lenses available, you get a versatile range covering you from 16mm for those wide angle shots to 250mm when you want to pull the subject in that's at a distance. Now the Nikon Z50 does not have in-body stabilization like the Z6 and Z7, but the DX lenses do have vibration reduction. With the DX 16 to 50, you're going to get about 4.5 stops of stabilization, and with the 50 to 250mm, you're getting roughly 5 stops of stabilization. And this functions great when extending both kit lenses out, since they'll have a maximum aperture of 6.3. Now in terms of build quality, both lenses are plastic in construction and have a plastic lens mount, making them extremely light and compact, but are extremely sharp as well. All in all, I think enthusiasts will really enjoy this camera, and coming in at just under $1,000 for the Z50 and the 16 to 50mm lens, it's not too shabby, right? So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button below, subscribe to our channel, and tap the bell icon. And if you're in the Miami area, come visit us here at the Digital Goja showroom. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.